Welcome to Just Massage Therapist podcast, where we are just massage therapists and we're just people, we're just women, we're just whatever we are, business owners in this case, sharing our opinions and having conversation. Today is going to be a very quick podcast, just an announcement podcast because my co-host is off enjoying a wonderful 6-year anniversary party at Vita Beauty Spawn. Spawn? Let me try that again. Vita Beauty Spa. Vita Beauty Bar. Oh my gosh, you guys can 100% make fun of me for that. Vita Beauty Bar in Saskatoon. So they're having their 6-year anniversary today, and it's very exciting and all that. So I get left here all by myself. Not a big deal. Again, this is just a really quick podcast just to give you guys some updates as to what is going on and where we're at and all that stuff. It might be a little loud in here because my dog is insane today for some reason. He's just been a little louder than normal, especially this last 20 minutes. He's already making noise back there, so maybe I'll bring him up. You guys can meet him. So we do have a few really good and exciting announcements for you for our in-person courses. Now, anybody who's been paying attention to what we've been doing over the past few months, the first couple of months were back in mid 2024, getting into the later part of 2024, just getting ourselves set up and getting some hype. And then early 2025, the first couple of months, it was mostly just our online courses and just getting them out there and starting our tutoring side of things. You guys are probably already well aware of that stuff. And then now that we're getting into springtime, so we're leaving our wonderful winter blues behind us, we're moving into our spring and summer collections. Or spring and summer menu items. I realize that they're not food or... Anyways, I know, I'm just being weird. We wanted to make sure that we had certain things in place before we started to actually do our in-person courses. Now, we've started to test the waters with the live webinars. So we do have a few live webinars that are out there, some during the week. We've just opened up weekends because we've heard back from a few of you that have been like, I'm watching, I'm waiting, but I need it to fit inside of my lifestyle a little bit better. So we're opening it up a little bit more into the weekends for that, if that is what works. And you know what? We'd like to hear from more of you. So if you want to see those live webinars go on other days and times than what we've already been doing, which has been mostly Tuesdays and Wednesdays at various times. But if you say, okay, well, yeah, Tuesday works great, but if it was after this time or before this time, that would work even better. Or if you're more inclined to weekend stuff for things like the live webinars, awesome. The other thing that goes with the live webinars, which I know is on the website, but I'm not sure how much people really read all of it. Honestly, I don't blame you. I don't always read everything either when I say, ooh, that's something I might like. But with all of our live webinars, if they are part of the review classes, then you will get full access to the online component of those live webinars the first time that you take the live webinar. So you will actually have access to everything. You'll be able to take the quizzes at the end of each one of them and not only gain the credit for being at the webinar, but also credit for completing the course. Now, if you want to do that same webinar multiple times, then you don't get the credit from the online component more than once, but you can actually get the credit for joining the webinar multiple times. That is something that is working. The only association that does not count towards that is MTAS, and that is because they are actually giving us a little bit more credit towards doing it sort of altogether. So if you do end up coming to the webinar and getting your access to the online components of those live, what are called PCPIs or practice competencies and performance indicator courses, like the anatomy joints and the physiology lectures, then you are going to get 2 credits above what you'd normally see, 1 or 2 credits above what you would get if you were to just take it the other way. So they did a little bit extra there for their members. Not saying that if you're not with MTAS, you're not going to get credits. You're going to get your credits. It's just going to be 1 or 2 credits less than what MTAS is giving to their members on those particular online live webinars and online courses. All except for the essential oils, which I am hosting on Mondays right now. Basically, every other Monday, I'm going to be hosting an essential oils blending course, starting off with our clarifying and sort of like our perky blend as much as we can. It's our perkiest blend. We usually like to do this one in springtime because springtime is when everything starts to perk up again. So this is our spring blend that we're doing, and it is black pepper and frankincense, and to sort of bring those two very opposing scents together, grapefruit. And I know it sounds like an odd one, but believe you me, it is delightful when you mix them all together. It really is. The grapefruit balances out the really strong scent of the black pepper, and the frankincense adds a little bit of woodiness to the already sweet scent of, or citrusy sweet scent of grapefruit. And the black pepper then makes sure that those two aren't super contrasted with each other. So it gets that nice little middle tone. It's really, really nice. It's such a beautiful blend. I actually currently have it on some petals of some dried flowers that I made. So I made a little mini potpourri with that scent specifically. So not true potpourri. But yeah, that's what my room smells like right now, because I love that mixture. It's such a great mixture. There's very few that I actually like better than that mixture. Anyways, sorry. If you want to be part of one of those, but the timeline doesn't work for you, and you want to be able to do it, but you need to find a better time, please give us some insight, some ideas, and we will see what we can do for you. I've scheduled them for I've scheduled them for the 14th and the 28th of April, because you do need to have enough time to get your kit. So we send out the essential oils with a full out kit. So you get the jojoba oil, you get the 3 essential oils, the jojoba's in a 15 milliliter, the 3 essential oils are in 5 milliliters. And then we do the blending together along with the droppers that we also send you. And then we calculate the cost. We make sure that you go through everything. Now, that course is approved through NHPC and through CMODA. However, it is not approved through MTAS. So if you are MTAS affiliated, I would still say take the online component, which, yes, again, you do get the online component as part of the package of doing the essential oils with us. I would do the online component, especially because of some of the other announcements that I have coming up for you. All right, so there we go. That's the essential oil section of it. The next announcement is we are now starting to open up the shop. So we wanted to leave the shop until basically we had everything else in a row. So we've got all of our accreditation now through MTAS, NHPC, and CMODA. We're actually waiting on one with CMODA because we sent it a little late. Our bad. But everything that we're going to be doing until well into the summer and fall season is ready to go, and we will be posting all of our dates hopefully by the end of this month. The dates are going to start for our in-person classes in May. So May, June, July, our summer classes are going to be running at least 2 classes a month, and then the webinars a month. There's going to be at least 2 a month. Usually I like to offer one up at least once a week, whether it be on a weekday or on a weekend. I like to have those up and running in case you want to join us for those. And if you are ever wondering why the online component is a price and the webinar is also a wholly different price, don't you worry. If you join the webinar, you automatically get the course for free. It's complimentary inside of the price of the webinars. So the shop, going back to that next thing. We've already started to post a couple of things up on the shop. So there's a book that I wrote a little while ago, called Sacred Touch, and it's all about a very specific type of massage routine and routines and program that I do with runes. So if you're interested in adding in some energy work that's through runic massage, it's a really fun book. It's not too long. I think it's not too boring for a textbook. But it does go through a number of different routines based off of the intentionality behind the Elder Futhark or the runes. So that one is up there and is actually available now. Soon we are going to be putting up the Trail Guide to the Body through... there's my dog. The Trail Guide to the Body through Andrew Beale and Books of Discovery. And we're going to sort of gauge how people are feeling about that textbook, but we're going to also be getting a couple of other ones at the same time. And we're going to be offering them at hopefully the lowest price you're going to be able to find them. We're not trying to make a lot out of those. We actually really want people to get an opportunity to get these books, get their hands on these books for a decent price and be able to read them and use them because they are, in our estimation, some of the best books we've ever found. And then we are hoping to get models. That is actually the next thing that we get to talk about, is getting anatomical models available for purchase on the shop as well. This has been always a really troubling thing in Saskatchewan specifically, because they're just so far out there, so far away, and it's really difficult to source them locally and at a decent price locally. So we're going to try and, fill that hole. We also, and I'm so excited because this finally came through this morning. We've been sort of back and forthing and trying to figure out how we were going to do this. But we now have the distributor capability for the Fascial Buddy or Fascia Buddy. And that is through Eastern Connections. Wait, is it Eastern Connections? Oh, I always forget the name of it. You guys know how terrible I am at names of things. Hold on, I'm going to make sure. Eastern Currents, not Connections. Eastern Currents, which is out in Vancouver. And they supply a lot of good stuff. So we'll probably feature them pretty well on our site as well. You'll see the Eastern Current stuff down in our partnerships now. But we are partnered with them. We are distributors now, which means that we can start distributing what we would like to distribute basically from their site. And if you guys ever go on there and they're like, yeah, I'd love that, but is there any way to make sure that they're available quicker in here? The first thing we're going to do are cups. Silicone cups specifically, because as you guys asked, and as we asked you guys and you guys answered us, and it was a fairly renounding yes, Chelsea, we want those. Yes, Cora, we want those, please. Silicone myofascial cupping series. So we're doing a 3-part silicone myofascial cupping series, which of course means we needed cups and the ability for you guys to get cups. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put them up on the shop. And if you decide that you want to join the course, then you can purchase them as well. But I would purchase them then through the course so that you don't have to pay shipping and handling. Right? It's always the smart thing to do. If you can not have to purchase it through the shop and just get it when you get there, amazing. Every single course is going to need you to pick up the pack. I believe of 4 is what we're sitting at right now. And it's different cups for the first 2 versus the last one. So the first 2 are going to be your traditional push-in cups. And then the last one, which is more lymphatics focused, is going to be more like the facial cups, more like my favorite ones that I literally use for everything. Although you are welcome to purchase even more if you want. So these guys as well. I love these guys so much. I know we've had lots of conversation about cups, and we will probably continue to have more conversations about cups. Speaking of which, if anybody has talked to people who use cups from a wet cupping background and have gotten any information based off of our last podcast, please, I would love to hear from you. I would really love to hear from you. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the last podcast. Padcost? Oh, it's pretty bad. Padcost. Anyways, so with, of course, the cupping or the cups that we've actually been able to source and become distributors for, which the Fashion Buddies look so cool. Through Eastern Currents, they're just absolutely lovely. They're another small business out in Vancouver. Check them out. Pretty cool. And no, I'm not being sponsored by them. I just know that I've enjoyed working with them so far to get this all figured out. So yeah, we'll be able to distribute the cups, but we'll also likely be able to distribute other things eventually as well. So right now we're focused on the cups, and then we'll bring up there. We're doing that because our 3 cupping courses are going to be coming in May. That's when we're actually going to get these guys started. We had looked at April, but it was a little too close for comfort, so we're pushing it to May. It'll likely be in the earlier part of May, which is so exciting. So yeah, the earlier part of May, we're going to be doing our cupping 1, maybe cupping 2 as well. We're going to leave cupping 3 for a little while because that's lymphatics. Cupping 1 is your absolute basics with silicone cupping. So if you already have a cupping course, you may not need to take this one because it is just absolute basics of myofascial work with cups. But this one is specifically with silicone cups. So if you've never worked with silicone cups before, but you have your cupping, you're still going to want to take number 1 because it's the basics with the silicone instead. And the silicone acts very differently than the plastic or the glass cups. Then the second one is the advancement. So this one is going to go body part by body part, and it's going to talk you through some of the regular conditions. The third one, which again, we're going to be putting off for a little while here, that's lymphatics. So we want you to get really comfortable with the first 2 before jumping into and doing the more delicate of the 3, which is the lymphatics. And it is a more delicate type system. And if we're lucky, we might be able to have a guest join us for that, but that will be announced later on if it happens. Each of these are 6 hours long. So they're not a full day. They're not a 2-day. Sometimes we'll do the 1 and 2 back to back. But right now we're just sort of testing the waters and trying out when everything's going to be for cupping number 1. So there's that. Then we also have our full accreditation for the treatment specialists courses that we are creating. And these courses are specifically designed to give the massage therapists and other manual practitioners who are interested in coming and learning some more stuff, but mostly it's going to be massage therapists, or I shouldn't say mostly. It is geared towards massage therapists. However, it is very muchly something that a chiropractor, a physiotherapist, energy healer, did I say physiotherapist already? Yeah, I did. Oh my gosh, sorry. Could come and glean some really good things from as well as being able to just network a little bit more with other massage therapists. Anyways, what they are going to be and how they are set up is over 2 days, 16 hours. The first portion of the first day, the first half of the first day, is a workshop on just critically thinking through. So it's the Lord of Akara, it's the questions, like it's all the basic stuff that you already know about the condition from when you went to school. And then it's going to dive into creating very particular scenarios. So every time you come to one of these, it's going to be a little different because the scenarios are going to change each time you go. But every scenario, or every time we create a scenario, that scenario then follows through the entirety of the rest of the weekend. And you take those scenarios, anywhere between 2 and 4 scenarios, and you dissect those scenarios. So the second half of the first day is all about how do we streamline the assessment here. So we'll look at all the different kind of assessments that you can do. And when I say assessments, I'm talking range of motion, orthopedic testing. I'm talking things with tools that manual therapists generally have. And you'll go through all of them and go, okay, let's take these scenarios. Let's figure out how these work and how we can streamline this process. When can I take something and put it when they're on the table so that I'm not taking up so much of their time talking, so I can really get in there. They can get their time that they want on the table, but also I get my hands on faster and can be more efficient with my clients and create better goals for that treatment. right? The second day then is, okay, y'all know the treatment for this already, right? This is something you guys went through in school. So what else can we do? And we spend a whole morning doing other types of techniques and being specific. So we'll have certain ones that have myofascial release specific to a course, cupping specific to a course. So if you don't have cups, you're going to want cups on those ones. Don't worry, we'll let you know when they are, which ones have the cupping that's specific to them. Essential oils. So again, if you want to take the specialist, the treatment specialist programs, you don't need to take the essential oil safety stuff, but we highly recommend it. And I believe that for the first little while, anybody who takes the weekend course that we're going to be doing for any of these treatment specialists, we will be adding that in free of charge so that you do go through it and you get not only the credits from the TAP course, or what we call TAP courses, the master classes, but you're also getting your essential oils credits. Again, that's not MTAS. MTAS doesn't do the essential oils, but we are approved through MTAS to give out this stuff inside of the TAP stuff or the treatment specialists. Sorry, I keep calling it TAP stuff, and I call it the TAP stuff for a reason. I'll tell you that in a minute. After you do the different types of techniques and focusing and understanding what you're doing and what you're feeling and things, it might be something you've already started doing, like myofascial release. It's just going to be very targeted to the condition itself. Right? There's also always going to be a breathwork handout for it because we believe in breathwork in this company. So breathwork is a huge part. And then the last part of the day, and I think is probably the last part of the last day, probably the most crucial part of the entirety of the courses, that is the, okay, how do I create a treatment plan that my client can follow? Not, I know what the treatment plan should be for this, so here you go, here's the treatment plan. And then your client is left going, okay, I don't know what that means. And I'm not saying that we all do that. We've all done that at least once, right? But it is about creating a tailored treatment plan that works for them and how to discuss that with them in a way that actually works for their time and works for your time. It's the follow-up. It's making sure that you have the tools that you need. You guys will have lots of discussion time for that about what kind of tools you can use in order to help your client be more successful in their healthcare journey. It goes through the immediate treatment, short-term treatment plans, so 2 to 4 treatments, and long-term treatment plans for those who are going to need the long-term, your chronic patients, and then getting at people as close to optimal performance as possible, as close to their normal limits, and hopefully beyond as possible for their condition. And each one of those is going to change. And the last discussion of the whole thing is about compliance. Client compliance. It really is about that. So treatment planning is the big sort of ending to everything. And it is a conversation that you cannot have more. You cannot have enough of. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. You cannot have enough of that conversation. That conversation is just beautiful. So those are the treatment specialists, and they come from the knowledge of the TAP principles, so the TAP method, which is one of the theoretical courses. So that one, if you join one of the TAP classes and you haven't taken the theoretical component, you will have access to that for free. It's complimentary. Part of the price is taking the treatment specialist course. So yeah, you'll have that. You'll be required to do that and make sure that you're done that prior to coming, so you have the prior knowledge, which means that you probably should book it a couple of days in advance at least. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm booking weeks, months ahead for any continuing education that I'm doing. So there we go. That's the other big announcement. Now those guys probably won't be coming until June at this point. So we're starting with the cupping stuff, and then we will bring in the treatment specialists. And we have 3 treatment specialists that are coming up. First one is adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. Second one is fibromyalgia. And the third one is myofascial pain syndrome. So we took what are our strengths, which is working with pain, that's me, and working with fascia, that's Cora, and we chose the top 3 that we think are rather important for people to understand. So yeah, those are in the works coming for summer. So these are our announcements for the summertime. This is very exciting. Of course, we will continue to have new announcements and new things going up on the website regularly. Don't forget to check out the print resources section because I am constantly updating that like once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'm putting stuff in there. The blog is getting updated once a month. I might up that to twice a month, depending. And of course, the podcast every week. We are always here hanging out. There was 1 week we missed because we were both not feeling it. Well, I was sick and she was busy. So if there isn't a podcast, that's usually why. I'm sick and she's busy. It's very rarely the other way around. But yeah, I am so excited to see you guys join us in any of the courses that we've got available to you or any of the tutoring that you need. You can also contact us if you are looking for some mentorship and that stuff. We just like to connect with people at any time, really. So if you want to just connect with us and chat, or if you've got some ideas, feel free now while we're still new and building before we get so busy that we aren't able to juggle too much of that. So this is literally the time to get our attention and to get things moving. Like specifically me and Cora. Eventually, we will build upon me and Cora, and we'll build a very strong team that continues to produce really fantastic content for you guys, or at least what we think is fantastic content. If you guys have not already gone to the website and looked at some of the stuff that we've got available on there, cnclh.com is where you want to go. Check us out. There's a bunch of pages that you can look through and just have some fun on there. I'll be updating the partnership listing on there with the 2 new partners that we have. So, okay, that's it. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and we will see you in a week with the 2 of us. And I'm hoping, my desire at least, is to talk about the words, the vocabulary that we both love and hate with a passion. There's a couple of words I hate with a passion in the vocabulary of the manual and massage therapy world. So, and actually medical professional world as a whole. So, more opinions coming next week. This week's just announcements. All right. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic evening, and we will see you in another week.